Alright fellas, here we're back on Pokemon Masters for an overview of Elaine and Penny's rerun banner and their event. Didn't their event? No, no, it's not Penny. Yeah, it's not Penny's event, it's Elaine's event. Anyway, so, we already got that rerun event. Cool. If y'all want Penny and Elaine, this is a very, very good chance to get them, and are these characters still good? Yes, they are. Oh boy, okay. This is a good time to put in some criticism. If y'all are interested in this, you know, put in the criticism in the feedback section or whatever. Add Super Awakening materials or like summoning rewards to rerun scouts, please. Like, these are two characters that got their Super Awakening this month, and I think it would have been fair, like, if they would have done like at least 5 steps of the banner with like 1 step each, giving like its alternating, like, or like a support candy coin, because they're both supports, right? Give them both support candy coins, like 1 for each multi, and then on the 5th one, give like a Super Awakening candy or 2, or whatever they're called. Point being, I think we should advocate a little bit more for tiered, like, rerun scouts to have reward banners, not just like the Eevee ones, which I think have them, other than just Hilda, and Kalen's banner. But this one should have got it too, really, because these characters both can Super Awakening, can get Super Awakening, they're both good with Super Awakening. It's a good chance to pull both of them. Really, I think a lot of these modern scouts should just have rewards for pulling on the banner, whether they're rerun or not. It's just fair, in my opinion, especially with how many resources it takes to upgrade a sync pair nowadays. Anyway, whatever, a bit of a tangent. This banner's pretty good in terms of the characters you can pull. In terms of the rewards you can get, no, obviously not. But the characters are really good. Elaine and Penny are super, super strong for pretty much all types of game modes. They're both really good for the Legendary Gauntlet. Elaine's soloed every Legendary Arena. Doesn't need much explanation there. I don't know how many Penny has gotten. A lot. Yeah, 10. 10's pretty damn good. For the high score event, I mean, Penny's going to be good for Fairy. We already had Fairy. Penny, I'm pretty sure, was good for it. I actually would have to validate that. I'm not 1000% sure, so could be wrong, but like, she was good special support. She set Fairy Zone or Fairy buff twice, you know, with full investment. So she's obviously able to enhance Fairy types without enhancing enemies. She was good for that. And if we get another Fairy high score event sometime in the far near future, who knows, then she'll be good for there. I'm sure Elaine's going to be good for some normal type high score event, at least in some capacity. Maybe a double support setup or something. I mean, I don't know. How does Elaine's bulk? I don't quite remember. How does Elaine's bulk actually look earlier on in fights? Elaine, she does have the debuffs, right? Barricade. Okay, so she actually does have pretty good buffing with Barricade Buddies and Shielded 2 on her trainer move. Is that 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5? 4 out of 5. So, okay. I mean, Elaine could probably do pretty well. I'm not going to say she's going to be god tier or anything, but she could do pretty well. She's definitely got a lot of other things like debuffs and status change setting and team healing and healing for herself, protect and all that stuff as well. So she's going to be probably pretty good for the high score event. And damage challenge, Penny's good for it. I think Penny isn't it the ultimate setup being Signature Gladion, Signature Wally, and Penny for Fairy damage challenges. Very multi-target, so obviously she's good right there. Very single target, she's probably a good support for as well. Pretty good for those modes. And ultimate battles, both of these characters do well. They really do well against stages that have status change requirements. Mostly Penny, but Elaine can too. Like for Thornton, she can obviously set Trap, Flinching, and Confusion, good for mitigating his stuff. Penny sets Rebuff, right? Elaine, pretty sure every turn can spam Argenta and give Trap and Fusion and whatnot, though I think you have to get rid of for like her shields and mitigations and whatnot. Penny does the same thing. She sets Rebuff, right? Mitigating those abilities. And then Elaine is also just a really good enabler of a lot of like team tick healing and just like stalling out the opponent because of the healing she provides, the debuff she provides, the fact she's got trainer move, hit and heal on the whole team. Yeah, these characters are still really, really solid if you want to like, at least in Elaine's case, if you want to stall the damned enemy out. Really good for that. And again, they both did gain Super Awakening, which is really strong for buffing their stats and also for just giving them new abilities. I guess we'll look at Elaine first. Why not? So, Elaine focuses a lot on... honestly. Her grid is just jam-packed full of stuff. Her main passives here is her main ability, at least at 1 out of 5, is the fact that she can infinitely restore her Buddy move and Quick move. She uses her buddy move, or her trainer move rather. She uses her trainer move, which restores MP to her quick move, and then she uses her quick move, which restores MP to her trainer move. You're effectively alternating it every turn, and this trainer move has a lot of good effects, such as restoring all ally HP by 10%, again, restoring MP to that quick move effect tag, raising all allies crit by 3, so she's got good crit support, and increasing physical and special moves next of all allies by 1 at random. It's one or the other. It does the same effect for all allies. So she's got random physical or special moves next buffs, and she's also got that 10% healing and the maxing of crit on her trainer move. And again, this is usable every other turn as long as you're using that quick move every other turn. She's also got hit interference 1 kind 9, which is effectively a 33% chance to either leave the enemy flinched, confused, or trapped. One of the 3 will happen, guaranteed, and she does have Swift, so you can do this AoE, which is pretty good. She's also got first status move HP recovery 4, restoring her HP by 40% of the maximum the first time the Pokemon uses a status move each battle, which is her Protect. Protect is good for applying damage guard. That can be good for taking a high-powered attack. And again, you are applying 40% free healing to her upon using that. So she's got good bulk in that essence. And obviously with investment of, like, you know, EX and level 150 and all that, she's got good stats. 353 defenses, 796 health, 338 speed. These are good stats. She does have the Tech EX roll, which for her is actually pretty good, just because she appreciates that damage buff for... Like, again, she's a legendary and a solo character. This helps her. In that game mode, it really does actually help her. Other game modes, obviously, not so much, but at the very least for that, it's good. And again, the stat buffs in all departments, that's really, really useful for her. The extra 20 defenses, extra HP, the extra offenses, the sync power. For the legendary gauntlet specifically, it's helpful, and for other game modes, the defensive buffs are actually pretty useful. And it does help her as a general support, because if she would have got field, she'd set normal zone, which could have potential conflict for some characters you may want to run with her. So not having to worry about setting that or something, but still maintain the defensive buffs wouldn't be at least as good in some regard. At least that's how I look at it. And that's her at 1 out of 5. I don't think she's super crazy at 1 out of 5, but she does have a very good base. It does help her out. She does have that team healing still. And of course with dupes, she gets a lot better. She gets a lot better with varying levels of dupes. Because it helps her tanking, it helps potentially her team tanking. It's basically all of it. She can Stalwart, Unbending, Escape Artist, and she's on Unflappable at 1 out of 5, Team Pinpoint Entry, a few other things. These nodes are mostly good for just mitigating some gimmicks of enemies, like Azelf's defensive debuffs. Those can be really annoying, so being able to go against those is good. Pinpoint Entry, accuracy buffs that helps with landing attacks for her or for the team. Pinpoint Entry part is funny because she's got Swift, which never misses anyway, but could help for, like, a duo or something on Latias at this low level of investment where you maybe want to hit through its evasion a little bit. This could help out with that or something like that, or just again helping make ally characters' moves actually land all the time, like friggin' hurricanes or whatever. Sterner Stuff 2, Brain Brawn 2, 20% damage reduction abilities. This helps out her tanking a little bit. I don't think it needs much else explanation. That's pretty good. And then Trainer Move Slippery 1, evasion buffs. This gives her dodge. This will help her in tanking a decent bit. Honestly, 2 out of 5. This is probably her best tile at 2 out of 5, just because being able to potentially not take damage at all is really strong, especially when she's healing every other turn. So you could dodge a few attacks, heal back up any damage you took, take another attack, dodge some more, and you're basically just maintaining very, very long amounts of high HP. So 2 out of 5 is not bad for that. 3 out of 5, she gets Sync Move, Team HP Recovery. This is Synchro Healing, 20% healing to the whole team on using her Sync Move. Trainer Move Shielded 2, Barricade Buddies 2, which this is actually at 3 out of 5, not 4 out of 5. Oops. Sync Nodes, which are fine, I guess. Overwhelm 9, Satisfied Snicker 9, Trainer Move Attack and Special Attack up 9, and Trainer Move Team Gradual Healing, or Team Hit and Heal, whatever. These are all really good tiles. Attack and special attack debuffs are very strong for preventing enemy damage. The team defensive buffs, similarly so. Obviously, one of her biggest lacks is the fact that she is not negating enemy damage really at all. She is healing damage, but she is not really being able to mitigate it. So if enemies buff their attack, or you can't buff your defenses, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Now, at 3 out of 5, she effectively just destroyed that notion in one fell swoop. On top of also being able to set team gradual healing, which means instead of her getting a 10% heal to the whole team once every 2 turns, she's now giving the team healing every single turn and more healing at that every other turn, because again, gradual healing, it's a 7% tick every 2 turns. That should be 14% healing plus the 10% from a trainer move. Every 2 turns, she's effectively healing the team about 20+% HP, which is really solid. And also, of course, she's healing herself as well, because she's using quick attack, giving her that same healing effect. really good. She's also able to buff ally attack and special attack, so if you need those offensive buffs, she's now able to do that on top of buffing her own evasion. So now she's got good support ability for buffing ally offenses on top of the already good physical and special moves next buffs. And she's also got the synchro healing again, 20% healing. Combine that with the god tier healing she's already got, and well, she's a very, very good character for survivability. I honestly will probably 3 out of 5 her if I can get her to 2 out of 5 off of my daily discounts for her banner with Penny here. So yeah, this is a very, very solid 3 out of 5 already. Very, very strong. Defensive buffs, offensive debuffs, far better healing. There's not much else you can really ask for too much. This is a great character, especially for dual support setups in game modes other than like the Legendary Gauntlet or whatever, where you're trying to just enable survivability. You've got your support that's probably enhancing your main damage dealer, and then you've got Elaine here providing that like offensive debuffs, defensive buffs, healing, just effectively enabling your survivability so much better. Not really too much of a gimmick check other than the status changes and I guess attack debuffs for like fluid fortification enemies, but still really, really solid. I really do think Elaine has a lot of potential in just dual support setups and even against like ultimate battles and whatnot, even just at 3 out of 5. But she gets better with it at other move levels. 4 out of 5, she gets hit interference 1 kind 9. Again, this is the same tile as what's in her regular base passives. This is good for, obviously, again, confusion, trap are nice and all of that, good to have, but the flinch is the big one. 30% chance to flinch at base is already pretty good, but then having another 30% chance to flinch, it's another roll of flinch, that's really strong. I don't think it maths out to obviously being like 66% chance to flinch because it's 2 separate rolls, obviously, but I think that maths out to being like 50-some%. I don't actually know, again, the mathematical number, but still, that's a good flinch chance for this character. Great for the Legendary Gauntlet, great for any other content as well. Like, you can, again, because you don't have to use Swift, you can focus whatever status change you want to apply with quick attack. So if you wanted to flinch like the right side, you target them, use quick attack, you're still restoring your trainer move, and you've got that roughly 50% chance to flinch, depending on if you're able to proc these tiles or not, which is obviously still really, really strong. Flinching again is good in every game mode for the most part, other than those that actually get rid of it. She's also got sync moves, team physical boost 2, applying +2 physical moves next to the team after using her sync move. I don't know why they're focusing physical, but still, this could be good. Legitimately, like, using that sync move, getting physical moves next, that could be good for enhancing any other ally damage. It's just making that ally damage enhancement better on top of already her amazing defensive utility. 5 out of 5, she gets safety net, applying endurance to all allies. That could be good for taking a very high-powered attack, would KO you otherwise. There's been plenty of cases where you survive off endurance and then you win after that. It doesn't need much explanation. Trainer move, HP, team HP, restoring HP when using trainer uses a move. I actually don't know how much this is. This is probably about 7 to 10% HP as well, so just even more healing for her. Even if it's just her, again, she's a really good solo character, and with lower levels of investment, she's good for amazing, not just good, amazing for duos as well. And well, this healing just enables her solos even better, and making a duo easier, I guess. Yeah, Elaine's good. Elaine's really good. She's got effectively anything you want. She's got offensive buffs, defensive buffs, offensive debuffs, amazing team healing, a little bit of gimmick check with the status changes and the debuffs and all that stuff as well. What else more do you want from a support other than like being able to set a weather trainer's own effect, I guess? That's about all she does not do, which doesn't matter. Effectively, again, if you're on a double support setup where Elaine's going to be extremely strong for maintaining ally health and maintaining offensive debuff pressure or whatever else for the enemy. Really good. She does get Super Awakening, of course. She gets her stat buffs here, which does help her with her damage a little bit. Again, this just makes her Legendary Gauntlet solos easier. Going from however 229 attack to 245 attack and special attack. I mean, the difference obviously is not going to seem to be that much, but in terms of some fights, it just takes out a lot of RNG. I don't think the offensive buffs matter for a lot of other fights, but at the very least, the defensive buffs and HP buff, really, really good, really, really solid. Makes her own survivability so much better, and just enables her healing factor so much more. Enables her survivability. It's crazy. The same thing for the most part up to 9 out of 10 or 9 out of 5, whatever you want to call it. 424 defenses, 1075 HP. God tier character, man. She's got so much survivability. And then, of course, she gains her passives. Head Start 1, Sneaky Acceleration, I don't think helps her out too much, but if you do want to run a little bit of sync ramping, she can do that. Opponent Interference, team moves up 2. Just a 20% buff for attacking enemies that are flinched, confused, or trapped. That's good. That is so good, man. 20% support on top of already providing physical and special moves next and attack buffs and all of her defensive utility. Just 20% straight support. Yeah, that's good. And then trainer move team sync boost, sync move boost, whatever it's called. You get a sync move up next by per use of the trainer move for the whole team. Yeah, not only is she able to actually enhance ally damage, she's now able to enhance ally sync damage. Elaine's just one of the best supports in the game. I don't care what you say. She is honestly just one of the best supports in the game if you can actually get her to this level of investment. Even at 5 out of 5, she's really, 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 really good. But gaining now the ability to actually have better support and sync move power-ups as well for the team, she's so good. She is so strong. Great character. Absolutely worth picking up with... at the very least, I would say Elaine's good at 1 and 2 out of 5, but 3, 4, and 5 out of 5, she gains so much more utility or supportive capability that makes her a lot stronger and a lot better. And then Super Awakening just makes her cracked, even though she's already pretty cracked at 5 out of 5, I would say. Anyway, let's move on to Penny. Okay, so Penny is a really, really solid special support, but also focused more on fairy types. She's able to use Disarming Voice, which is AoE. She does have Fairy rebuff on hitting the enemy. First hit Fairy rebuff down, lowering enemy Fairy rebuff by 1 when the attack move is successful. AoE Fairy rebuff. What else do you want me to say, man? AoE Fairy rebuff, that's good for the enhancement of any other Fairy type. Again, that combination of her with, like, Signature Gladion is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Special defense buffs for the whole team. This is pretty good in its own right. I mean, you know, it's preventing special damage, taking less damage for special attacks, activating multipliers, whatever. It's good, but this also has the innate effect of also buffing special moves next because she's got Team Smart Command 9, which increases special moves next whenever the trainer uses a move of the whole team. So you get special moves next on top of special defense debuffs. Very appealing. She's got Starry Draining Kiss, which is a 2-gauge 2-use move. It's activated whenever she uses any move once and deactivated when used. So it's very easy to activate and use, obviously. It never misses. It returns to raise target stats to normal, raises her stats by the same amount, and restores her HP by 40% of her maximum. This is how she gets her healing. Stat stealing is all really good utility. A lot of enemies have fluid fortification, and also the fact you get those enemy stats is really good because you're gaining bulk stats, speed stats, offensive stats, so those don't really matter too terribly much outside of Legendary Gauntlet. It's good for stealing Latias' stats, right? Evasion buffs, especially, are really, really good to get for her. And again, you're getting 40% healing on top of that as well, so it's her main form of healing. She does have Trainer Move VV Power as well, which applies Gauge Acceleration, raises ally special attack by 4, crit by 2, and applies a gradual healing to all allies. More healing, more offensive buffing for the team with special attack and crit, and the Gauge Acceleration for managing speed. Pretty good. Also wanted to mention, Penny's got pretty good stats. Level 146 Star AX, 325 defense, 352 special defense. The defense could be better, but special defense is pretty solid, and HP is good as well. And with the Strike EX roll, she gains some offensive ability to nearly 300 special attack is decent. I would say for Legendary Gauntlet standards, it's pretty decent. Pretty good for a support, frankly. And it's also pretty good for Anniversary Steven standard. Oh, poor Anniversary Steven, man. Oh, God. Anyway, decent enough defensive stats for sure. Her defense is lacking a bit, but she got Super Awakening, so we'll get to that. Yeah. Other than all those other abilities, she's also got Mind Games 9, which debuffs enemy special defense when the attack move is successful, so you're also able to debuff enemy special defense when using Disarming Voice and Draining Kiss. Again, AoE because of Disarming Voice being an AoE move. So, yeah. Obviously, Penny serves as a good special enhancer, special attack, special moves next, special defense debuffs. She sets Fairy rebuff. Those are good enhancements for all Fairy allies and also a lot of special allies as well. Pretty good base kit, right? And her healing is good for survivability, and stat stealing as well is pretty solid for disabling things like fluid fortification or mitigating enemy attack buffs. All really good. And the grid doesn't have anything too crazy. Stalwart and clear-headed. Stalwart's pretty nice. Like fighting Azelf and any like Moltres and stuff like that could be decent in a duo setup because God knows not soloing Moltres. She's got Brain Power. At 2 out of 5, she's got Brain Power. Flabbergast 4, Revenge Boost 4, Group Dragon Guard, another tile of Revenge Boost 4, Quick Cure, Natural Remedy, and X Special Defense all NPR. NPR is nice. This gives you more special defense debuffs and more special moves next. Natural Remedy and Quick Cure for mitigating his status conditions and status changes. Well, getting rid of them the first time. Getting rid of those effects can be really good, especially because a lot of Legendarians like to have one-use sets of status changes or continual uses of them. Like freaking Tornadus is toxic, or Cresselia is toxic, or I think she's got Thunderwave too. Am I wrong? I might be. Or like Moltres is fucking burns. Good lord. So that's nice. She's also got Revenge Boost. Two tiles of Revenge Boost for 50% chance of charging Gauge when the user is hit by an attack move. This is another method of her being able to manage Gauge a little bit better. Gauge acceleration as well, again, on top of that. So she's got good Gauge management without having to actually have speed buffs. Group Dragon Guard, preventing dragon damage. You know, any dragon enemies you fight, Penny's going to be good for being able to prevent damage for herself and the whole team. Combine that with, like, Kaylee. Does Kaylee have Group Damage Guard, or is it just regular Dragon Guard? Or is it Catherine? I think it's Kaylee, but I want to actually... she's fairy. Yeah, Kaylee... Grass Guard, Ice Guard. Does she not have Dragon Guard? I actually thought she had Dragon Guard. I'm nuts. Oh, no, she's got, I guess, for thick fat, right? Okay, I thought she had Dragon Guard. Oh, no, Catherine has Dragon Guard. Okay, well, close enough. Double Dragon Guard protection. Love that. Anyway. Whatever. These are decent enough abilities. I'm not gonna say they're like super duper crazy or anything like that, but a little bit of extra Gauge help is nice. She could use the help. And the Flabbergast 4 for deactivating like enemy status. What the hell do you call them? God damn it! I actually just brain farted so hard. Gimmicks, gimmick checking, getting rid of enemy gimmicks like Thornton again with his need of a status change, or Yuxi. Those Same type of stages. I've been talking for too much. It's been 21 minutes and we're already fucking up bad. Okay, whatever. Flabbergast 4 helps with that. Whatever. Brain Power, it's a nuke. I don't think this is, like, a great nuke, especially not without further levels of investment, but it's probably honestly not bad in the Legendary Gauntlet, where the power bar of a lot of enemies is so much lower. Being able to actually nuke with your support is probably not bad, especially if they have an ability on Sync or something. Like, at least in Penny's case, with extra dupe, she's got Sync Burst. If you would have had Synchro Healing or like Recuperation or something, this would be so much more appealing in my opinion to go for, but still, it's not too bad as is. 3 out of 5, she gets Satisfied Snicker 9, Sync Burst 1, Trainer of Propulsion, X Defense All Shielded, Team Sharp Entry, Disarming Voice Gauge Refresh, Team Fist Bump 3, and Starry Journey Kiss Master Healer. Extra healing on the buddy move, really good. That's going to be good because, again, her healing is good. Her healing's strong, solid, but obviously there's a limited amount of it. Only 2 uses of this, 3 with Sync Burst, and also only certain amounts of ticks of gradual healing for her. Being able to have extra healing on demand is really good. I think this buffs it to, is it 20%? Or, 60%? I don't actually remember, or is it just 50%? Either way, it's good. It's good healing. It actually provides extra healing. Disarming Voice Gauge Refresh 9, again, probably a better Gauge Refresh ability than Revenge Boost, because you don't actually have to get hit and screw over your sync cycle to actually utilize it, but Disarming Voice Gauge Refresh is going to be good for, again, maintaining gauges that way, on top of the Gauge Acceleration and whatnot. Sync Burst, this gives you more usage of your X Special Defense All, so you can get, and Trainer Moves, so you get more Special Moves next. You get your Crit Max and Special Attack Max, you get more uses of Gradual Healing, and most importantly, extra uses of your Buddy Move, which is going to be giving you more healing, and also giving you more abilities to steal enemy stats. Trainer of Propulsion 9 as well. Combine that with Sync Burst, and you've got a good bit of Sync acceleration on her. Does she gain? Bleh. Yeah, she's got Adrenaline 3 on her Sync Super Weighting, so combine that with that, and you've got yourself a lot of Sync acceleration with this character after using her Sync move. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty. If you want Sync acceleration, that's good. Again, especially with a character like Signasu Wally, who can already do a lot of it himself, I think. Signasu Wally can't do it, right? He's got Head Start 1, he gets another one on Mega Evolution, and he's got some in the grid as well, so he's got decent sync acceleration, and there's probably more characters that do, like Nimona, she does decent sync acceleration as well, and Penny's not a bad support for her either. Diantha's got like Propulsion, is it just 1? It might just be 1. Yeah, Propulsion 1, so if you want to work around with that RNG, you can. Decent characters you want to run Penny with that can do a little bit of sync acceleration, so the Propulsion 9 just enables that a little bit further. Yes, my voice is getting raspy. Anyway, moving on, Team Fist Bump 3, 30% or 40% chance to heal all eyes HP when her attack move is successful. More team healing, more ticks of healing alongside gradual healing. This is nice. I think it should be a little bit higher, honestly, because it's not broken as it is right now, but it's very much appreciated for her to have this tile on her. Other than that, Satisfied Snicker 9, special attack debuffs, preventing enemy damage, right? This also gimmick checks Latios, because again, Fluid Fortification, not only are you stealing stat debuffs, but now you actually are also able to debuff enemies. Offensive pressure, right? appreciate that. Honestly, would have loved if she had attack debuffs as well, because her defensive stat could use a little bit of help, but still, this is good too. Again, she's very special oriented. She's also able to buff ally defense, so it does help her defensive ability a little bit. I think this should have been shielded too, but it doesn't really matter that much. Plus 3 defenses, and if your special defense ends up getting debuffed, you can use it more and get even more defense buffs on top of it, so that's good. We really appreciate those defensive buffs. And ability to be more mixed in the enemies you can handle, because again, she's more specially oriented, but now she's still got a few abilities to actually handle a lot of physical attacking enemies as well, and not just crumple under pressure, which is great. 4 to 5, she gets some fortuitous 9 random debuffs. Yes, accuracy, attack, special attack, defense, special. Pretty much any debuff is going to be pretty helpful for her. Other than like, well, no, evasion's good because it prevents Latias from being annoying early on. But other than that, I don't think evasion's too crazy. And again, if you have maybe moves that are not accurate like at all, and your character's horrible somehow at buffing their accuracy, evasion debuffs could be helpful for that. Attack and special attack is really good, of course, because you can just mitigate damage that way. Special defense is good for faster special defense debuffs. Defense is good if you're running her with a physical character, again, like Signasuit and Nimona, who still does benefit a lot under her, but does not make a lot of abuse of her special buffing antics. That's where defense debuffs could be helpful for them. And then, again, attack and special attack, mitigating damage, really good. And Fortuitous 9 is a good 4 to 5 tile. And debuffs are just strong in general a lot of times. Trainer move, crit defense 9, applying critical hit defense to the eye field to play on using the trainer move. This could be good if you can time it right to mitigate like guaranteed crits, or of course also being able to just mitigate crits throughout the entire battle. If you want to run something other than vigilance on her, this enables that further. Like if you want to sync Nuke Penny, run Critical Strike 2 or Super Duper Effective, or sorry, Super Power 3 or something like that, you can. Or again, run something else in here that might prevent, maybe like, again, if you're facing like Azolf, you can pick up Stalwart and then Grid or Lucky Skill Unbending. Not a bad idea. Or maybe Gimmick Check some way. It just depends on what Lucky Skill. There's a decent few for her that aren't too shabby. Like Stoic is also a good one for better defensive buffs. That could be helpful too. So being able to enable that with critical hit defenses is nice if you are worried about the enemies critting. Other than that, 5 out of 5, she does get first sync move on opponent fairy rebuff. She gets guaranteed fairy rebuff on the enemy. This is where her support EX roll being strike, not support EX roll, her EX roll being strike comes in, and it gives you that AoE sync move, so you get AoE fairy rebuff on using her sync move on top of the support EX. So -2, pretty much -2 fairy rebuff on the enemy for at least 2 instances of setting fairy rebuff. This helps again with Argenta and Thornton, where Argenta wipes away her status change on the half bar, so being able to actually set that rebuff back with her sync move is good. And then she looks at trainer move team brain gain 9, more special moves next that she's already able to apply to the team, but again now she's doing 2 sets of it basically, and combine that with sync burst and you've got another use of the trainer move that's even more special moves next. Yeah, so this is Penny's kit at the full investment. She's good. She's got very, very good special enhancement that we've already covered. She's got good and she's got good gimmick check ability with her like Flabbergast and Fortuitous for debuffs. She's got the ability to actually handle the physical defensive side of things as well with shielded and attack debuffs as well, which is really good. The crit shield, which is able to enable her to run different lucky skills, and a few other abilities that just make her really, really strong. So I would say that, like, I mean, obviously 5 out of 5, you get the fairy rebuff. If you want to enhance a lot of your fairy allies, then 5 out of 5 Penny's going to look really enticing, and that's entirely fair. But if you want to just use her like for general support purposes, 3 out of 5 can be good because she gets like this the Master Healer, she gets the Sync Burst. These are probably like, this is probably one of the best tiles she gets, so 3 out of 5 is really good for that. 4 out of 5 is good for the debuffs if you think that debuff pressure is nice. Same for crit shield, and then 5 out of 5 again saying that fairy rebuff is also very helpful. So she's got very solid utility across pretty much all move levels, I would say. I love this. 6 out of 5, she gets over 300 special attack. Is she better than Anniversary Steven's attack? Let us see. Let us see Anniversary Steven. 306 attack, yes! Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. Whatever. That sucks. Anyway, so back to Penny. She obviously gains more stats. Oh my god. So the extra stat buffs here from her super weighting are pretty good. 420 special defense, 388 physical defense, 1041 health. Yeah, pretty good, honestly. This helps out her physical defensive prowess, makes her special defensive prowess a lot stronger, which already was really strong. HP, I mean, the super weighting for supports has always just been nuts. All supports gained so much craziness in their stats department. I love it, honestly. With her skills, she gained Adrenaline 3. -3 Sneak Acceleration is pretty nice. I mean, Sprint, basically, for free. Same thing as, like, Signature Karina, right? That's very helpful for pretty much any ally you want to run her with, right? Support EX, now you get -3 sync countdown on top of it. That's always going to be really helpful, especially for, again, for a support character. That sprint function is always good for supports. Just as sometimes the sprint roll isn't that great in terms of, like, the stats it buffs and all that. But for Penny specifically, I mean, getting the just -3 for free is really good. And then she also gets 20% damage reduction when enemies have a lower type rebuff for the whole team. 20% unconditional damage reduction, very good for her tanking. The team's tanking. Again, it's team tanking from this. That's really good. That is very, very strong. Just more damage reduction. You don't have to worry about the defensive buffs or whatever as much, or her defensive stats as much. And it makes the team so much more survivable, especially when she's got the gradual healing with Team Fist Bump and the team gradual healing. That gives allies healing. It just makes them even better at surviving. Yeah, so Penny is... I don't think Penny's, like, Super Awakening is, like, god tier crazy nuts or anything like that, but these are still really good buffs if you are willing to invest that far into Penny, whether you like her as a character or you just like her kid or whatever. It's pretty good. So, yeah, Penny's overall as a sync pair is still really, really good. Great fairy enhancer, great special enhancer. Got a lot from the Super Awakening for her stats and the sync acceleration and stuff like that as well. And Elaine is just a god tier jack of all traits support, being able to buff pretty much any ally and maintain the whole team's, like, survivability just pretty much on her back is really, really good. So this is a good banner for anyone who's looking for two characters who can do, for one, well in the Legendary Gauntlet, or pretty much any game mode. Elaine's amazing in even the high score event, not the high score event, the Ultimate Battles, great in the Legendary Gauntlet. Damage Challenge is where she struggles because, like, the fuck? That's really the only game mode she does not do extremely well in. And then Penny is basically able to do well literally anywhere. Anywhere she's able to provide great gimmicks and great abilities for the team. And they're both super just crazy characters. Now let's advocate for some rewards on these banners, and then we'll be good to actually summon on these. Because I would probably drop multis if I could actually get Super Awakening candies from these banners. Please. Whatever, yeah. I'll see you later. Hope you all enjoyed. Go look on your summons. Go look on your skipping. Obviously, the update is very soon, within a few days, pretty much. So, yeah. I'll see you later. I hope you all enjoyed. Peace.